Hello, class 12th student. Today I am going to start chapter 6. Topic is rural development. This is part 1 from your book Indian Economic Development. In this chapter, according to VK Ohri, this is chapter number 9, but if you are going to learn from Sandeep Garg, so this is chapter 6. Okay, so in this chapter, rural development, we are going to cover 3 topics. What are these 3 topics? So these 3 topics are challenges of rural development, the lingering challenges of rural development, emerging challenges of rural development. First of all, what do you mean by rural development? So rural means what? Rural belong to an area where people are basically related to agriculture and aligned activities. Okay, the livelihood, yeah, their main source of employment is what? Agriculture and aligned activities. Okay, so that is area is rural area. Okay, now what do you mean by rural development? So here is given rural development means an action plan for social and economic growth of rural area. So this is the meaning of rural development. It is related to what? It is related to action plan, that is for social and economical growth of the rural area. Okay, so you have to learn. It can be asked in 1 marks, okay, as well as in 3 marks. Now this action plan focus on 2 challenges. What are these 2 challenges? So first challenge is your lingering and the second is emerging challenges. Okay, so within lingering challenge there are 2 challenges of rural credit and challenges of rural marketing. Emerging challenge, this is the second one. This include 2 things: exploring option of sustainable livelihood and challenges of organic farming. So this organic farming has been deleted this year. Okay, so in this way you have to learn 3 topic in this chapter. First is what? Under the topic lingering challenges, you have to understand rural credit and rural marketing. You have to understand 2 things: development of rural credit in rural area, and the second is expansion and development of rural marketing. Within what? Within lingering challenges. Okay, now emerging challenges, so within that you have to learn only one, that is sustainable livelihood. Okay, now let us understand in detail. So lingering and emerging challenges, so what is written here? There are certain lingering and emerging challenges. So under the lingering challenges, we are going to learn about rural credit and rural marketing. Under emerging challenges, we are going to learn 2 things: sustainable livelihood and organic farming. But this has been deleted. So in this way, you have to learn only 3 topics. So lingering challenges, rural credit and rural marketing. You have to learn this one and this one. And under emerging challenges, you have to learn this one only: sustainable development. Okay, now it needs to be noted that there are 4 challenges. So there are 4 challenges now: rural credit, rural marketing, sustainable livelihood and organic farming. But this time in your syllabus it is only 3. Okay, so it is how much? It is only 3. Okay, so there are 3 challenges. The action plan include other element also. So basically the core element for rural development is are these 4 points: development of credit, rural credit, development of rural market, and then option of sustainable development, and then organic farming. Actually, what is this? So first of all, this rural credit is related to expansion of banking system in rural area. Okay, if you talk about the rural marketing, so it is related to providing proper infrastructure so that farmer are able to gain good uh, good price for their product. Okay, and option of sustainable development. So this is related to what? This is related to providing more aligned activities like bee farming, horticulture, diversification of crops, diversification of farming. So it is related to this, ki how we can modernize uh, rural, how we can modernize rural activities. Okay, and organic farming is related to what? Less use of chemical and more use of natural thing to enhance fertility. But this time organic farming has been deleted. So in this way, just you have to learn three things: rural credit in detail, then you have to learn about uh, rural marketing, okay, and then sustainable livelihood. Okay, now, so apart of these three, there are more things about that government think. Okay, the government mix plan, just like development of means of transport linking rural area with the urban area. It is very important for what? For expansion of rural market. Okay, now provision of power energy for rural area, so it is also very important for what? For social development, for social development. Okay, if you want that rural area also, in rural area also new generation is going to get good education. Okay, they are going to live a good lifestyle, standard of living is going to be high. So it is very important they are going to get uh, power supply. Okay, now permanent means of irrigation. Already in the first chapter I had told you about vulnerability of agriculture, yani ki our agriculture is dependent upon rainfall. If rainfall is good, harvest is going to be good. If rainfall is bad, it's mean bad crop production. So in this way we are too much dependent upon nature. So this dependency we can reduce by permanent solution, that is what? Availability of irrigation facility. Okay, now facility of agriculture research. Obviously with the passes of the time, when we are regularly cultivating, so obviously fertility of land is going to decrease. So there is requirement of new technology, innovation, new research, so that we can increase the fertility without compromising with the health. Because HYV technology, green revolution, that we had learned in detail in the second chapter, has given quality but not, has given quantity but not quality. So we are getting huge production, but this production is not healthy. Okay, why? Because there are too much use of chemicals, fertilizers, pesticide, that is going to decrease quality of those product, those wheat, those rice. So we have to think about also. So however, the present chapter is only related to 4 now. This time not 4, this time it is only 3. So rural credit, rural market, and option of sustainable livelihood. Okay, so in this video I'm going to cover rural credit only. Okay, so I'm going to cover only rural credit. The lingering challenges of rural credit, the challenge of rural credit. So first of all, what do you mean by rural credit? It is question of 1 marks. It is question of what? It is question of 1 marks. What do you mean by rural credit? So this is its meaning. Credit for farming. Credit for farming is known as a rural credit. What do you mean by rural credit? Credit for farming. Okay, now credit is very important for the farmer, for the people who are living in rural area. Why it is so important? So here are given two reasons. First is given कि majority of farmers are what? They are marginal and small. Yani they are not going to have good backup. Okay, they are not going to have good saving. So in this condition, why they are not going to have good saving, or they are not going to have backup? Because because agriculture is which type? It is subsistence type. Okay, so in this condition hardly they are able to generate surplus. So in this way there is requirement of credit for agricultural activity as well as for other activities, like at the time of any ceremony in the family. Okay, there is any contingency, there is any accident in the family. So because of majority of the farmer are marginal and small, so they require credit. Okay, second reason is given what? Gastration lag period between sowing and harvesting, यानी कि when we are going to start the production activity and at the end of the year we are going to get yeah, after the 6 month, it depend upon the nature of the crop. So there is time difference between the sowing and between the harvesting. So during this period, whenever there is requirement, any type of requirement, obviously we do day to day expenditure. So for these expenditure they require credit. Why? Because they are not having other income option. So that is the reason. Okay, so in this way, in rural credit is very important. Okay, so what we had learned here, we learn what is the meaning of rural credit, what is the meaning of rural credit. So credit for farming, so this is the meaning of rural credit. It is important because of two reasons. First is majority of farmer are small and marginal. Okay, second is gestation lag between the sowing and harvesting. So because of that they require credit for day to day expenditure and other activities. Now, lingering challenges of rural development. Within that, we are going to learn the short-term credit. Okay, so we had learned that credit is very, very important. Credit is very, very important for rural area because majority of the farmers are small and marginal, so they are not going to have backup. Okay, and there is gestation period, यानी कि there is time lag between the sowing and harvesting, यानी कि जब वो फसल को बोते हैं और जब काटते हैं उसके बीच में टाइम गैप होता है. तो within that duration, whenever they require money, so they are going to depend upon credit. Okay, credit means borrowing. So in rural area there are three type of credit. First is short term credit. What is short term credit? The short term credit is that credit that is given for the period of 6 to 12 month. Okay, that is given for 6 to 12 month. Now next is medium term credit, that is related to 12 to 5 month, and long credit is related to 5 to 20 year. Okay, now short term credit is given for what? For purchase of input. Okay, like fertilizer, pesticide and insecticide. Okay, paying electricity bill. And what is the period for short term credit? It is 6 to 12, yani ki 1 year, for the 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. Now medium term credit, it is the credit that is required for the purchase of machinery, construction of fences, digging of well. So in this way these are for these activity they require medium term loan. And what is the period? 1 year to 5 year. Okay, now long term, it is for purpose of additional land. When a farmer want to purchase additional land, that time are carrying out permanent improvement in existing land. They want to new use to new innovation, so permanent change. So in this way that time they require long term credit. And what is the period for the long term credit? It is 5 to 20 year. Now the credit requirement of the farmer may also be classified as productive and not प्रोडक्टिव. तो जो क्रेडिट है इसको हम वन मोर बेस पे क्लासीफाई कर सकते हैं. अभी मैंने पढ़ा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट वी लर्न कि व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ रूरल क्रेडिट. तो क्रेडिट फॉर farming is known as a rural credit. Okay, then we learn what is the requirement for credit, why there is requirement for credit. So first reason is marginal farmer, small farmer. Second is what, gestation period, yani ki there is time lag between the sowing and harvesting. So because of these two reasons, people require credit in rural area. Now we had learned three type of credit. First is short term, okay, that is 6 months to 1 year. Then medium term, that is related to 1 year to 5 year. Then long term, that is related to 5 to 20 year. Now we are going to learn one more classification base, that is productive and unproductive. Okay, so what is productive and unproductive? So it is very very important for you. It's, remember, it is important. Productive requirements of credit related to productive activities. When a farmer borrow money for increasing production capacity, yeah, he is taking credit for expansion, for the production activity, for production. When farmer borrow money for production activity, for purchasing input, for digging well, for purchasing new land, so this is considered as a productive activity. Okay, what is non-productive activity? That is related to consumption activity. When our people borrow money for any other reason, for non agricultural activity, for the consumption, for purchasing fridge, cooler, anything personal use, so this is known as a non productive credit. Okay student, so remember in the previous slide what is important, all these three type of credit and their time period. In the first slide, meaning of credit, region, okay, and in this, productive means borrowing for productive activities. Non-productive, yeah, unproductive means borrowing for other activities, okay, or for consumption activities. Now, sources of rural credit. What are the sources of rural credit? So what are the sources of rural credit? First is institutional and second is non-institutional. Institutional, that we borrow money from bank, okay, yeah, from institution or organization, so that is considered as a institutional. And non-institutional, when we borrow money from friend, from money lender, for big farmer, so this is what, this is non-institutional. So let us understand. First of all, non-institutional sources. So what are non-institutional sources? So within that, it is very important, what do you mean by non-institutional source? So this is the meaning. The first line, its meaning. Landlord, village trader, money lender are known as a non-institutional sources of rural credit. How many? Three are: landlord, village trader and money lenders. Okay, now traditionally most credit need of the farmer were met through these sources. So if you talk about the starting days, yeah, on the eve of independence till the first 5 years, so majority of people in rural area borrow money from these people, yani they are dependent mostly on non-institutional sources. Okay, and how you can understand by this data, 93% of total borrowing are taken from these non-institutional sources till the first 5 year plan. So you can understand what is the role of non-institutional sources at the starting of, okay, first 5 year plan. Now, but this time condition has changed. If you talk about 1981, so now institutional sources has emerged as a principal challenge. So it has substituted, yani institutional sources has substituted non-institutional sources. Why? Because non-institutional source exploit farmer. Okay, on the other hand, institutional sources provide them loan at a cheap rate, and there are many facility to farmers at the time of repayment. Okay, now institutional sources. So what are the institutional sources? Yeah, what do you mean by institutional sources? So here is institutional sources include government, cooperative, commercial banks, regional rural banks. So these four are considered as an institutional source. Okay, yeah, what do you mean by institutional source? So institutional source means government, cooperatives, commercial and the regional rural bank. They accounted only for 7% at the first 5-year plan. At the beginning of first 5-year plan, what is the contribution of institutional source? Only 7%. But if you talk about today, so out of total institutional, now at present its percentage is for 66. So you can understand at the beginning of 5-year plan, uh, what is its percentage? 7. But now what is percentage? 66. So you can understand there is uh, encouraging improvement, okay, expansion of institutional sources. Now within that, most of the loan provided by the commercial bank, that is of 75%. Okay, and there are more things. There are a rural regional bank, cooperative credit institution that also provide credit to rural area. Now we are going to discuss all these institutions, institutional sources in detail. Okay, so first is cooperative credit society. I know all these things are not new for you, already you know it, that because you had learned in your 10th class also. Okay, so this is like a revision. Now, so what is important? Meaning is important. The credit cooperative credit society provide adequate credit to the farmer at a reasonable rate of interest. It is very very important, at a regional rate of interest. These society also provide guidance in diverse agriculture operations. So it do two things. First, it provide credit, and second, it gives guidance. Okay, and how much its contribution? 16 to 17%. Okay, what it do? The timely and rapid flow of credit. So it ensure timely and rapid flow of credit. Now next is State Bank of India and other commercial bank. So what is important in this? uh, First of all, you have to keep in mind when it was set up. So it was set up in 1955. When it was set up? In 1955. So this is your first question. Now the government realized that rural credit needs could not be met by the cooperative credit societies. Why? Because cooperative credit society provides a very small amount as a loan for the small period of time, yeah, for a medium, yeah, uh, short period of time. So that commercial bank should play an important role. This promoted nationalization of central bank in 1969. तो इस चीज़ को कंसिडरेशन में लेके फिर 1969 में क्या किया गया था? बैंकों का कॉमर्शलाइजेशन किया गया था. So the national commercial banks were directed to offer credit directly to the farmer. So after the nationalization of the commercial bank, RBI, our central bank, given direction that they have to give credit to farmers also. Okay, as well as indirectly through cooperative societies. Now, third is regional rural banks and land development banks. So we had learned about the cooperative banks. Cooperative banks not only give loan but also gives guidance. Okay, if you talk about second one, that is State Bank of India and commercial bank. The State Bank, it established in 1955. That is very important. Second, commercial bank. So government feel that the role of cooperative societies are not sufficient to they involve commercial bank in rural credit by nationalizing them in 1969. So what is important in this slide? In this slide, two things are important. First, set up of State Bank of India. Second, nationalization of bank in 1969. Okay, Now, regional rural banks and land development banks. So, RRBS and land development were set up to promote credit supply, particularly in the remote rural area and the backward district. So, what you have to keep in the mind? You have to keep in the mind two things. These RRBs and land development banks work for remote area and for backward district. Okay, these bank operate at a district level, and these bank operate at a district level under obligation of to focus credit need of weaker section of the rural population. So within this topic you have to keep 3 points in your mind. First ki RRB and land development bank work in remote and backward district, and second thing ki it operate at district level only, and it provides loan to weaker section. Okay, now next is National Bank for Agriculture Rural Development, NABARD. So it is very important what is the full form of NABARD. So N for national, B for bank, A for agriculture, R for rural, D for development. So you have to keep, this is 1 marks question, what is the full form of NABARD? Okay, NABARD is apex institutional handling policy planning and operation in the field of rural credit and related economic activities. Again, it is important, and it is your second question कि how NABARD is apex body, या it behaves like RBI in the field of rural banking या rural credit. Okay, so this is the answer. It is apex institution. Why? Because it is handling policy planning and operation in the field of rural credit. Okay, now what are its function? So first is to serve as an FX functioning agency for institution providing credit in rural area. Okay, next is what is given here: to take appropriate measures to improve credit delivery system. So it is the role of NABARD that it provides, it going to guide and monitor rural banking system. Okay, as a apex bank. Second important function is that ki there will be credit delivery properly, यानी कि credit is given farmer at a time in a less time duration, the less paper work. Okay, now to coordinate the rural functioning activity of all credit institution and maintain with the government of India. So it is very very important. It is going to link all the institution that is going to provide rural credit in rural area. Now, to undertake monitoring and evaluation of project refined by it. So it is also its work that whatever project and are implemented in rural area, it going to evaluate it, how much it is successful, what is drawback, and how we can overcome from these problems. Okay, now RBI and rural credit, it is very very important for your board examination to mark it as a important. Okay, in rural credit system in India at the present time, RBI is going to play very important role. Why it is going to play very important role? Because at the beginning of 1935 it has it क्रेडिट टू एग्रीकल्चरिस्ट एंड स्ट्रेंथनिंग क्रेडिट इंस्टीट्यूशन. तो इसने इंश्योर किया है कि जो क्रेडिट है वो पुअर सेक्शन को रेगुलरली मिलती रहे, और प्लस इसने क्रेडिट इंस्टीट्यूशंस को स्ट्रेंथन दिया है. ओके, प्राइमरी कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट सोशलाइज्ड एंड नेशनल डेवलपमेंट बैंक इन पर्टिकुलरली. नाउ व्हाट आर द फोकस, या कैसे आरबीआई ने हेल्प किया है क्रेडिट डेवलपमेंट, क्रेडिट एक्सपेंशन में. अगर आपसे उसका क्रिटिकल इवैल्यूएशन पूछा जाता है तो यू कैन राइट दिस. ओके, सो शॉर्ट टर्म refined facility for agriculture and aligned activity, development of cooperative credit institution, expansion of sources of fund for short term long term. Okay, provision of long term fund to bring about state partnership, conducting rural credit survey, helping bank branch expansion program, guiding to all concern and matters related to rural credit. Okay, it are very simple tips for you. If you forget these these line are these point you are not able to remember, so what you are going to write within this topic. So you know RBI is our central bank. It was established in 1st April 1935. At the beginning it is working for rural credit, so that there will be more promotion of institutional credit, and farmer can be safely can be safe from exploitation that is done by non institutional uh, credit sources. Okay, so that is first important objective of RBI. Second, uh, there will be no obstacle regular inflow of credit. Okay, and there will be expansion of credit facility in remote and backward districts and backward area. Okay, and providing credit at a very low cost. So these are the genuine thing that you can write. Okay, now rural banking, a critical evaluation. So critical evaluation means whenever question is about evaluation, वो critical evaluation, तो you are going to write positive as well as negative things, यानी you are going to discuss good impact as well as bad impact. Okay, या फिर loopholes also. Okay, so first of all, what are the positive aspect of rural banking? So here we are going to discuss this. So rural banking in India significantly expanded. So this is the first positive thing we find that कि जो institutional credit है वो over the time क्या हुआ है, expand हुआ है. Okay, तो this is the first. After 1969 nationalization के बाद rural credit expansion significantly हुआ है. Okay, the second thing is what? Now, establishment of NABARD. So the second positive thing is what? Establishment of NABARD. Okay, so had missed a substantial difference in the institution of rural credit, and rural financing has become much more organized than ever. So what you are going to write within this? So this is the second topic. Okay, this is the second positive aspect of rural क्रेडिट या फिर बैंकिंग सिस्टम डेवलपमेंट. और विद इन दैट यू आर गोइंग टू राइट एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ नाबार्ड. और इसने क्या इंश्योर किया है? रूरल फंक्शनिंग हैज़ बिकम मच मोर ऑर्गेनाइज. बिकॉज ऑफ नाबार्ड देयर इज much more organized than ever before. Rural banking has become much more organized than ever before. Okay, it is not denied that fact that institutional credit has gone a long way in liberate the farmer from debt trap of Mahajan and money lender. At the beginning of the first chapter, I had told you about the debt trap. Okay, farmers take frequently credit not only for new work या फिर new activity but to repay the loan. So this is considered as a debt trap. So and they've caught in that because of high interest rate. So because of development of institutional sources, no doubt there is a decrease in the exploitation of these things. Okay, now we are going to discuss about ग्लेरिंग पॉइंट्स आर जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है. तो बैंकिंग क्रेडिट आर इंस्टीट्यूशनल क्रेडिट ट्राई टू कोलेट्रल. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट जो स्मॉल फार्मर और मार्जिनल फार्मर है वो कई बार लोन नहीं ले पाते. वाई? बिकॉज जितने भी इंस्टीट्यूशनल सोर्सेज हैं वो लोन तभी देंगे, दे विल प्रोवाइड लोन only then when collateral or security, okay, are given, or guarantee is given. So in this case small and marginal farmer are not going to get benefit from expansion of these institutional sources. Okay, so this is the first drawback. Second, owing to the political populism, the government has often shown laxity, yani lack of strictness in the recovery of loan. Okay, so second demerit is what? Increase in default rate. You can actually write in heading also, increase in default rate. Why? Because आपने सुना ही है जब भी इलेक्शन आता है तो गवर्नमेंट ने लोन माफ़ कर दिया, देयर इज़ नो नीड टू रीपे इट. तो दिस इज़ वॉट ये कॉमर्शियल बैंक के लिए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करता है, क्योंकि दे आर नॉट एबल टू रिकवर whatever loan they had provided to rural area. Okay, so in this way they are not going to get profitable or good for their banking. uh, okay, now next is, apart for the commercial bank, most financial institution had failed to develop a culture to thrift. इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू व्हाट, इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू चैनलाइज द सेविंग. यानी कि जो बैंक है ना, उन्होंने ये हैबिट कल्टिवेट ही नहीं कर पाए कि आपको सेव करना है. सो दिस इज़ अनदर ड्रॉबैक. तो देर आर three drawback. First, what we had learned, first we had learned that ki small and marginal farmer are not able to take loan. Why? Because there is need of collateral. Second, because of because of second thing is increase in default rate. So day by day default rate is increasing. Why? Because of political populism. They are not having strictness, lack of strictness in the recovery of loan. Okay, now next is, we had learned कि banks are not able to cultivate habit of to save and to deposit it in the bank. Social banking in rural area has taken Social banking in rural area has taken hit in the wake of economic reform in 1991. Impact of debt on the farming is generally becoming so huge that suicide deaths are rising from scores to centuries, particularly in the state of Andhra and Madhya Pradesh. आप कई बार न्यूज़ में सुनते ही रहते हो, महाराष्ट्र हो, आंध्र प्रदेश हो. ओके, तो इन दीज एरिया फार्मर are compelled to do suicide. Why? Because they are not able to get even cost of their farming. Okay, in this way they are so much discouraged and they are not able to pay back to the loan, and ultimately they decide to commit the suicide. So in this way government have to think more about rural development and credit expansion also. Okay, now next and it is very very important for you for this year, it is important to mark it important. What is KCC, Kisan Credit Card? So within this scheme, Kisans are given a credit card, okay, and they can take short term credit loan on the basis of these KCC. Okay, and what is written on this KCC, Kisan Credit Card? There is given their name, address, okay, particulars of land holding, borrowing limit. So these are mentioned on this credit card. Okay, and they can use this credit card to take short term loan. Okay, okay, thank you for today.